What's good, Liberators? SMT Dx2 Demon review. Today we are talking about a demon who's most fitting for these most trying of times. The conclusion of the Moiray Sisters trilogy, wrapping up with the maiden responsible for all of our deaths, the femme, Atropos, one of the three Moiray sisters in Greek lore. She cuts the life threads of those whose time has come, according to the measurements made by Lachesis with her shears. She is the unturnable, for it is she who determines a person's death. The three Moiray sisters appear in the forms of the Mother, the Virgin, and the Hag, representing the past, the present, and the future, or birth, life, and death. So let's check out what she can do. She is the heavy hitter of the Moiray sisters trio, fitting with her mythological basis in death, because of the three, she is the one who brings it. And that's something really cool about the Moiray sisters in general. Now, the sister Clotho, the sister representing birth, she's the healer. The sister Lachesis, representing your life, she's the buffer, right? And Atropos, bringing you to your fated end. But the magic stat, it's okay. 192, 192. Okay, but you can pump that up to 212, 232 maximum. Not bad. But hey, she does her job admirably, especially with her bag of tricks, which we will get into. I, of course, dumped the other 20 into Vitality because she is made out of tissue paper, and even if I only have a basic variety, Atropos, but even if you've got her panel 3 with that 500 extra HP and life brands, you will be lucky to get her over 3,000 HP, give or take, and it's... for a girl on a slow-rolling team, she's going down. Most likely she's going down hard in Wave 1. So be prepared for that. But there are still some fun things you can do with her, despite that. And I threw the last 10 into luck because strength and agility are useless to her. Going full spell brands, I was able to get her magic attack to a generous 1900, but again, if you've got that second panel, that would be 2018, so she can get upwards of 2000 magic attack, which is very, very workable. As for the skills, the transferable merciless blow, 20% when attacking the enemy's weak point, which is really cool because it works really well with her unique skill, which basically hunts 4 out of the 7 potential weaknesses out there if you count physical, which of course we do. For her first unique skill, Passionate Rage, plus 5% to fire, ice, electric, and force damage. Okay, that's something. 5% is certainly a percentage, the lowest possible percentage it seems, but hey, every little bit helps. Activates the following chain effect at the start of an enemy turn. When there are 3 or more surviving femme lady demons in your party, inflicts electric magic damage, power of 60, electric pierce, all enemies, boom, and then follows it up with a fire magic damage attack, power of 60, fire pierce, all enemies, assuming that first attack was successful. So basically, she is the bane of some of the weaker speedster teams, or the unprepared speedster teams. If your speedster team doesn't have that extra 500 HP from panel 3 going in, they're going to have a bad time, unless of course you come with those indoors. So if you're running a speedster team, these girls are still out there, definitely not as prevalent as they were last year, but they still abound, still run into them from time to time. And Atropos specifically will double tap you out of existence if you are not prepared with that indoor or that Fizz Survivor or what have you. You know the skills you need to prevent the double tap, because usually if you're running a good speedster physical team, you only need that one round, but you kind of need all your boys firing on all cylinders, so you got to make sure Atropos here doesn't cheap shot your MVPs out of existence. So be prepared for that. And for her second unique skill, Severed Fate, inflicts magic damage, power of 160. Not great. It's not breaking the bank power-wise, and her magic stat a little on the low side for my liking, but she has the ability to kind of pile on with her chain effect. And this skill, magic damage of a chosen attribute with a pierce effect, automatically selects an attribute from fire, ice, electric, and force, depending on the situation. So if the demon you're targeting is weak to one of those things, it's going to hit a weakness, which is pretty cool, especially in PvP. Although these days, coming across weaknesses, let alone these 4 particular weaknesses, is hard. Most of these big PvP demons don't have any weaknesses. Either that or they're weak to light or something, so it's a little tough with magic demons these days, but it is really cool. She's great on your B team for the boss wave of Demopocalypse, as you can build her up and use her in 4 separate Demopocalypses, so you can really conserve resources in that regard if you focus on her for that. If you level this up, plus 20% to damage dealt using this skill, and if you take it all the way, MP cost -1. I personally I never ran sisters in PvP, offensively or defensively, run against them more times than I can count, but I never used these girls, despite getting them through those, I believe they were free summon files that came along with these girls, and I got all 3 with them. So that was nice. That was nice, but I never wound up using them. So I only leveled her skill up to 5 to save resources, because I only needed that damage boost. But if you're running her in PvP, of course, get that 6th level. You need that -1 MP to bring this down to the low costs of 5 MP per shot. I've got her in the Psychic archetype for Infinite Chakra. Increases naturally recovered MP by 1. Fantastic. If you're running her in PvP, this is where you want to be. MP in PvP is at a premium, as we all know. So having a built-in Divine brand with her is fantastic. Lets her fire off twice in a row, no problem. And you're in great shape. Actually, since she's a slow roller, right? Say you give her full spell brands, which is probably what I would recommend, and we'll get into why. Give her full spell brands. She still gains 4 MP every turn, so she starts off her first turn with 9, because presumably your sister's team is going second, right? So she can pop off 4 times in a row before she runs out. Not bad at all. So, as for the transferable skills, as I said, I only use her in Demopocalypse, but if you're running her in PvP, there are things you probably want to consider. I gotcha'd her with the Elemental Cycle, perfect for her, plus 15% to fire, ice, electric, and force damage. Probably the most ideal thing for her skill, although Master Assassin would give her 20% to single target damage. So this is a nice skill to gotcha her with, because it's kind of just like a free, you get your damage boost, plus it applies to her Severed Fate and her Passionate Rage. So that's nice, but it makes this really only good on her specifically, but still kind of cool. And you can give her, like I said, Master Assassin, not bad. You could give her Enduring Soul, which she she desperately needs, unless you're running with Ji Wang Mu, right? Unless you're planning on letting her die turn one, so that Clotho, her other sister, will bring her right back, and then she just keeps going anyway. So you might want to consider just ignoring the life brands, full on spell brands, and just assume that she is going to die. Now that's just one way to go about it. If I were going to run her, that's the way I would go. I would just be like, there's no stopping her dying, But if you've got Maria on the team, right, guaranteed to pick her back up no matter what, just give her full-on magic attack. Let her cheap shot, passionate embrace, boom, boom, soften the enemy up nicely, and then get ready to rock when your revivers, when those lovely Ji Wang Mus and Marias bring her back and let her rain down the pain. As for brands, I just hit magic attack auto on the brand selection, and so my semi-best brands here, like I said before, was able to get her magic attack over 1900, so not bad at all. Otherwise, if you don't have the girls paneled, ward brands could be a possibility. If you're trying to keep her alive by giving her life brands, I would say go with guard brands on her, because it's the physical demons that are going to give you the most trouble, and the physical demons can just flatten her if she is unprepared. She has no weaknesses, null's light, null's dark, just like all the other sisters. So, and you could try with the evasion brands. Her agility is atrocious, 82, but you can still get some slippery girls. But if you decide to go, I believe it's the right hand that has evasion in the primary slot, but that means you'll be giving up her magic attack, which is not really something that I would be willing to do personally. But hey, you could go for that evasion build. I would say go full spell brands, guard brands, assume she's going to die, and then have the other girls bring her back for her round 2 counter. As for the panels, panel 1, or the one with this skill is alive, Femme Lady allies will gain null weak. Similarly, panel 2, same conditions, will gain null mute. So again, if you have all 3 sisters with panels 1 and 2, you are immune to ailments, which is very cool. I like demons that are designed to work well together, to synergize together, especially when they all connect in their mythological baseline. It's really cool to see. Aces, love it. And the big panel 3, plus 20% to fire, ice, electric, and force damage, so her bread and butter gets even more bread and buttery. Before we wrap it up, check out these other archetypes, see if there's anything worth checking out. But Infinite Chakra, that's going to be hard to beat. For the Origami, we got Judgment. Inflicts almighty magic damage on all enemies and increases own party's attack by 20%. Okay, gives her a sweep attack that you can control, and not just from her chain effect at the start of the enemy's turn. So that's kind of interesting. But if you're running her with the other sisters, you've got Lachesis auto buffing everyone's attack anyway, so this seems largely redundant. And a power of 100 almighty attack is not great, especially at a cost of 8 MP. Oof. Tough sell. Tough sell on that one. The Protector, Concentrate. Enters a state of Concentrate. Next magic attack damage increased by 125% at the reduced cost of 5 MP. So if you are not running her in PvP specifically, if you're just using her outside, this is perfectly fine. Concentrate her up and have her just severing fates all day, all night. Assuming you have Severed Fate fully leveled up, only costs 5 MP, this costs 5 MP, so there's no excuse not to use it. Get that extra damage in there, an extra 25% if you're running her with Templar Dragon, and it will help her do the job that she was born to do, which is murder. For the Psychic, Infinite Chakra, which we discussed, and once again the big loser of the group, the Elementalist. Drain Light turns a null into a drain, completely useless in PvP, completely useless outside of PvP, just useless all around, too hyper-situational, and everything pierces through everything. Pass. And that's all I got for the conclusion of the Moirae Sisters trilogy. Atropos, the one who will end us all. And she is the one we will see if we were to ever meet our end in thermonuclear war. But we pray, liberators, that that time is not now, nor ever. For this is a land for our children and our grandchildren. Don't get captured.